Hello! So we're going to look at how to download a Windows virtual machine for free. You can download Windows 11 for free to use on things like software like VirtualBox, which we're going to show you now. If you type in Windows virtual machine, you can see download a Windows virtual machine from Microsoft Developer is a link there, and you can get a Windows 11 development environment. And don't be scared off by that. Software developers do use it, but you can also use it to test out software on Windows 11. Your machine does need to be quite powerful to do this. But if you give it a go, you can actually find out whether it will work for you. But you can download virtual machines from VMware, Hyper-V, VirtualBox, and Parallels. File size is 21 gigabytes, and the expiration date of it is May the 23rd, 2023. So you do have to come back and download these regularly. It's not suitable to use ongoing without actually getting a Windows 11 license key. So if you click on the VirtualBox download there, you'll see it is a 21 gigabyte download. So it's quite a hefty download. So we're going to leave this downloading here for now, and we're going to come back to it later. But if you haven't seen our VirtualBox how to download and install video yet, take a look at that one and get VirtualBox set up whilst you're waiting for this to download. And when this finishes downloading, we will show you how to import Windows 11 for free into VirtualBox. And once it's downloaded, you can open it and you will see that it's an open virtualization format archive. So if we extract that from here, we'll be able to open that in VirtualBox. So we'll click extract all. We'll extract it. It's just a single file, so we'll extract it straight into downloads. And it will take a little while because it's 20 odd gigs, so maybe 2 or 3 minutes. So we'll come back when that's done. And then once that's finished, you'll be left with this file that's windev2302eval. If you go to VirtualBox then to open it, that's the way to do it. If you double click on it, it will actually open in VirtualBox. In previous versions, it's not done that, so you can just double click on it, make it easy, that'll open VirtualBox. And it takes you to a screen that says import virtual appliance. That is much easier than I was going to show you, so keep it that way. So appliance settings. These are virtual machines contained in the appliance and suggested settings of the imported VirtualBox machines. You can change many of the properties shown by double-clicking on the items and disable others with the checkboxes also. So Virtual System 1 is Windows 11. So we'll leave that like that. We'll engage the USB controller just in case we want to use USB, and we'll take the network adapter. That's all fine. And that's all that's in there. So the machine base folder is going to go into a C users VirtualBox VMs by default. Happy with that, but you can press down to change to a different location. MAC address policy, include only NAT network adapter MAC addresses. That's fine. Additional options, import hard drives as VDI. Unchecked, all hard drives that belong to this appliance will be imported in VDI format. You can uncheck that, unless you want something off your hard disk specifically. I think you can uncheck that and the appliance isn't signed. That's fine, so we can click finish then. Importing appliance started, so it's at 1%. And this may take a few minutes, so it's importing that appliance now. If you don't double click on it and you want to go the hard route, if you open VirtualBox Manager, you can then click on the import button or press Ctrl and I, which also allows you to import the appliance as well. So we'll leave this for a few minutes while it imports the appliance, and then we'll see what happens when we start it up. So once the import has finished, you'll see this windev2302eval virtual machine here appear. You can see it's Windows 11, Windows logo 11, and it's 64-bit, and it's powered off at the moment, so it's like a switched off computer. And it's running Windows 11 64-bit. Base memory, it's going to use 4 gigabytes for processors. It's going to boot hard disk optical, trusted modules, version 2, EFI is enabled, various acceleration settings, display, it shows the video memory, and the remote desktop settings. Storage is going to be a normal 125 gig hard drive. Beware making this too big, because this will actually be reserved on your own hard drive, so don't make that too big so it takes over your computer. Audio is disabled, network adapter's fine, USB is fine, no shared files, no description at the moment. So we're ready now to switch it on. So with this selected, and it'll be automatically selected if you've only got one, we want to press the start button. So once we press the start button, it's now going to say it's powering up the VM. And this is the virtual machine here. And this is the virtual machine booting up. We'll make that big screen. We've got a control panel over here for mouse integration and auto keyboard capture in the top right hand corner. VirtualBox is getting ready, so this is like the BIOS booting up. We've got several status icons in the bottom right here, which tells the status and network, a bit like quick access toolbar, taskbar area. And we've also got our menu on the top left, which allows us to set preferences, take settings, take snapshot will allow you to save the current state of the VirtualBox for later usage. We can view it full screen, scaled, etc. and do recordings, configuration of the input devices, keyboard and mouse, configure the network and the USB as well as shared folders, and also help for VirtualBox in case this is your first time using it, or you want to find out how to do something new, or you just want to refresh your knowledge of it. So obviously the performance of the virtual machine will depend on the resources allocated to it. So there is always a fine balance between not allocating too much of your main system resources to VirtualBox so that it clogs up your main machine, but also ensuring that it's got sufficient resources to be able to run the virtual machine to an acceptable level of performance. At the moment, this is the first time starting up. So the first time starting up a virtual machine, it can be quite slow. So you do have to be prepared for that. But it should, with the settings we've got it, be quite responsive. So this is just like we've just finished installing Windows 11. So the first time, it's going to say that it's getting things ready for us. This is as if you've just installed Windows 11 on a brand new PC. So here it is. It might take a few minutes. It's going a bit crazy flashing. Don't turn off your PC, which in this case means don't turn off the VM. Not quite as disastrous, because if you turn off the VM and it corrupts it, you can always re-import it again. But obviously that is best avoided. And you can see if we go to view and full screen mode, you can switch to full screen mode. You can always go back to Windows mode by pressing host and F. Note that the host key is currently defined as right control, so right control and F. If you want it full screen there, right control and F to exit full screen. He says pressing left control, right control and F. While it's loading up, if we take a look at the preferences over here, so we can go into preferences, you can see there's some update settings, so you can tell it to check for updates automatically once per day. It'll tell you when the next check is, so that'll be tomorrow. And check for stable releases, all new releases or all new releases and pre-releases. So it is best to stay on the stable release versions. If you want all new releases, they then include some new features faster, but will typically be less reliable. And all new features and pre-releases, so like alpha versions, if you select the last option, will give you the newest features the fastest, but will likely be quite unstable. In terms of language, you can select your own interface language from those available. English is built in. You can also configure your display options for your monitor whilst using the virtual machine. You can configure a proxy if you need to. For most people, leaving it auto detect host proxy settings will be fine. And you can have a look at the interface and see what colour theme you want. You can select light, dark, or you can just simply follow the system settings of your own PC. And in general, we've got our VirtualBox folder, which is the default for the machine, so it's going to store it, as well as the authentication library, which is VBoxAuth, which is more than suitable for most people's needs. Then after it's configured the settings for first time use, you will see it has now booted up Windows 11, and we do have Windows 11 here. If we make it full screen, so we go view and full screen, we can switch and it'll give you full screen there. So this is just like your own computer now. Press start. So we've got Visual Studio, we've got Ubuntu on Windows, settings and File Explorer here. We've got everything that you'd normally have on Windows, and we're ready to go here. And if we want to check whether it's connected to the internet, we can open up Edge. So just start, pinned is Edge, so we'll click on Edge. Start without your data. Yeah, continue without data. And confirm and start browsing. And then if we go on to Google, for example, we can see that the internet is working. Yep, so we can go test. Boom. Everything's working. This VM is now fully configured and ready for us to use. Hope that helps. If you do have any problems setting up your virtual machine for Windows 11 on VirtualBox, then do let us know in the comments and we'll try to help out. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we shall see you later. Bye.